Woodruff,
Era Parisian,
and me, Nick Humphreys. Virtual Vision FM. Your platform to all things spiritual.
Hello, and welcome once again to Virtual Vision. This is your platform to all things spiritual. We're going to have a great show again today. What else is new? We have the wonderful Nina Ashby back with us, and she is phenomenal. She has quite a following, and already the phone lines are jammed. That shouldn't stop you, actually, from calling in, so please feel free to do so. The call-in number is 646-716-9336. And as always, I am here with the wonderful Reverend Ted Woodruff. Hi, Ted. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm like a kid in a candy store because this webinar jam is kind of cool, and it's just going to take a bit of getting used to, because normally I'm sat with my eyes closed and earphones in and no one can see what I'm doing. Now I've got to be on my best behavior and make sure my hair's done, my makeup's done, my nails are done, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I'm kidding. But you know, it's a really exciting forum, and we're now, you know, viewable by our listeners and now watchers.
That's right, and it's, you know, it was time to take that next step, I think, to develop an even further rapport with everyone who's been so supportive of the show for the last, can you believe it, almost 2 years. It's almost
absolutely, and yes, it's all very well seeing images of hosts and people and hearing the voice, but yeah, you know, they get a sense of who we are, what we're about. They can see the body language, they can see the lips moving, they can see the expressions going on. It's going to be interesting doing my 1 minute me moment for the first time, because as I say, normally I'm off in La La Land with my eyes closed, but I'll go for it, and we'll see how it goes down.
Oh, it'll be great. I know that Nick is also Nick Humphreys is also a co-host on the show. He's not with us today. He's in Norway right now, and he should be coming back shortly, I would think. So, Ted, what have you been up to lately? I know that you've been here, there, and everywhere.
It feels like it, and I was saying to Nina before the show started that, you know, I've said for years that there's not enough hours in the day to do everything that I want to do, and life, you know, is never boring, and there's so much to experience and to feel, and so many people to connect with, and so many folk who are just great individuals, and it is a little bit of a struggle sometimes fitting everything in to you know, the 24-hour cycle that we have. But yeah, we had our first, bear in mind that it's like only really just over a month since Mum took the transition, and I made the step towards getting Turns and the Namaste group to become this holistic center, and quite swiftly. And it's remarkable how people have rallied around very quickly, and we've already had our first workshop on Friday, just gone, where Glynis, who I've worked pretty closely with for some months now, did a crystal workshop. Now, I didn't sit in on it. I'm essentially trying to sort of facilitate people doing events and workshops here of a huge variety of holistic and sometimes a little bit out of the box sort of workshops planned. But yes, Glynis did one, and it was a great success, and I could hear a lot of laughter going on, and I know what happened, but I can't repeat what one of the wives said to one of the husbands in the room at the time, but there was a lot of humor, a lot of fun, and a lot learned. And this week we have our first the first of 10 workshops in a psychic development course, which I did 10 years ago, I think, and got a feel for little bits and pieces of the psychic world when you know nothing of, from psychometry to meditation to healing to crystals, a whole array of things that people can experiment with and see what takes their fancy. Oh, and trance work and that sort of thing. So that'll give a feel for beginners for 10 weeks. And that will develop into an intermediate course and an advanced course. And then, my life, we've got a circle starting a week on Wednesday, which will be a regular fortnightly event. And as other events come up, I'll be telling you each week what's been going on. But we've got an alien abductee support group. However random that sounds, it's an issue with any number of people across the globe. And we also have a gay, bisexual, transgender, and lesbian support group, which again is new to me, being led by Charmaine in the coming weeks. So a big mixture of holistic, spiritual, paranormal events, workshops planned, and already we're up and running, and we're in July of the new year. So yeah, it's really, really exciting stuff.
Sounds like you're covering a lot of territory, a lot of different topics, and that will attract a lot of people. I know that a lot of these things that you're mentioning, there just aren't enough avenues open to people to come and get that kind of support. So good for you for putting that out there and having that gathering place where people can be appropriately supported, for sure.
That's what it is, yeah.
To note here that in the webinar chat room, we did have Sandra. She's since disappeared, so maybe she'll come bouncing back. David is in the webinar chat room watching, and welcome, David. I'm glad that you could make it in there. Now, in the Blog Talk studio, there are many people who are just listening to the show, and Sue to you is in the show, so hi, Sue. There's Lynn Smith. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you in here. And as always, the phone line is growing longer and longer. Lots of call-ins today for our guest. And that's good, because a lot of people are going to get help today, I would think. So what we might want to do here, Ted, is do your 1 minute me moment, and then we'll play a track and sort of set the mood for our lovely Nina.
Absolutely planned. So here we go, folks. For the first time, you can actually see me demonstrating and describing the 1 minute me moment. The man who was told that he has an ideal face for radio back in the day. Work that one out. So my idea was that a 1 minute me moment, in this day and age where people suggest you do 20 minutes exercise every day and you go walking for this, that, and the other length of time, and you should do this and do that. And a lot of people don't have the time. We should make the time. In fairness, we should. But in the event that we don't, I just suggest you do 60 seconds of taking time out and sit yourself down in a chair at some point, morning, noon, or night, in a chair quietly, and close your eyes. And imagine a vine between your ankles, joining your ankles. And from that vine, take another one down, 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 deep into Mother Earth, and attach it around a rock or a boulder, stone, or a tree trunk, and that grounds you down to Mother Earth and stops you floating off into the etheric. And at the same time, imagine an eggshell of golden light or white light or any color that you feel comfortable with surrounding you in an eggshell of protection. And that just protects you from negative energies, negative spirits, negative whatever. And while you're doing that in your mind's eye, start to concentrate on your breathing and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and hold for 3 seconds and out. And then try breathing in through your mouth and out through your nose. In through your mouth and hold for 3 seconds and out through your nose. And that just makes you concentrate on your breathing by alternating between in through the nose and out through the mouth, and in through the mouth and out through the nose. And while you're doing this, just for 60 seconds, but you'll probably have to extend it just a little bit to a couple of minutes, maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. Concentrate on your innermost thoughts and connect with loved ones, whether they're on this earth plane still, whether they've passed to the other dimension, the other world, the heavenly realm, whatever you call it, and connect with past or present loved ones or spirits or guides, those who you feel you wish to connect with. And do that for 60 seconds each day, grounded, protected, and then connecting. And as I say each and every week, but it is true, those who have tried it may have been a little cynical to start with, and will this happen, won't this happen, or whatever. Absolutely everyone says they feel remarkably relaxed, they feel very much grounded, they feel very much protected, and they do indeed connect with spirit, guides, and or loved ones. Do it for a minute each day to start with. Extend it maybe to 2, 5, 10, like I said. But if you just fit 60 seconds out of your day to take time for you, it's a good thing to do. And that's my 1 minute me moment.
Well, thanks, Ted. I just have to make sure that I have everything running properly. I muted and I took myself off camera, and just wanted to see how long it would take to pop back on. I do see that Sandra is back in the chat room on the webinar platform. Hi, Sandra. We did give you a shout out, but you had bounced out. So, hello. Tina DeLuca, wonderful to see you in the webinar platform chat room. You were the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful numerologist we had on the show just a few weeks ago, and definitely you're going to come back again, let me tell you. So before we bring on our guest, Nina, let's just play a quick track, and we will be right back. For everyone listening, the call-in number is 646-716-9336. Back in a flash. And I pushed the wrong button. There we go.
Where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dream that you did to, oh why can't I? Oh, someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Where trouble melts like a lemon drops high above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dreams that you did to, why can't
And we're back. That was Israel, and I'm not even going to attempt to say the last name. I just refer to him as the Hawaiian guy. Unfortunately, he has passed away, but what a blessing he was and continues to be. So we're back on FM. I'm Era Parisian. I'm here with my wonderful co-host Ted Woodruff, and we're about to introduce the lovely, the amazing Nina Ashby. Hi, Nina. How are you doing today?
Hi, Nina.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Era. Hi, Ted. And hello, me on the webinar. I got myself on. So excited to be here. Wonderful. Always a blessing and an honor.
Oh, wow. It's always wonderful to have you on because exciting things always happen.
And great to see so many people waiting for calls, and also so many people in the chat room. Love it. Loving it.
And I just wanted to, I put a blast out in the Blog Talk Radio chat room saying that if you can't call in, then at least put your question in the chat room, and you can always address it that way as well. So no one should miss out at all. I have someone interesting in the chat room. I'm not quite sure I know how to say it. I'm just going to call you No. Welcome. Welcome.
Doctor.
Is that Ted? Ted was Dalai Lama during our test run, so that was quite something. Anyway, Nina, what have you been up to since the last time you were on our show?
Well, I've been up to the same things I'm always up to. I'm up to serving. I serve a lot. I serve spirit. I give readings. I teach classes. I'm very. I write articles. I am the best person that I can be to try and inspire people in life. And I think that my work very much integrated into my life, and that's what I really love about what I do, is that I realize that there is no separation between who I am as a spiritual being and the ways that I can influence other people and the world by being a beacon, by seeking within myself to stay as centered as I can be, to admit my mistakes, to learn from my mistakes, and to enjoy as much as I can every part of my life, whether I'm active and working or going to a museum or listening to music or making music or dancing or all the things wonderful friends that I have in my life. I'm just so blessed, and I count my blessings every single day, twice a day. And every morning before I even get up out of bed, what I do is I do my attitudes of gratitudes.
Yes.
And so when I spring out of bed in the morning, I actually feel great. I feel happy, I feel lighter, and whatever sort of things may have been happening in my dream world or perturbed, they disappear. I pre-pave. We can talk about what that means for people who may not know what that is. And I also have a prayer list. So I go through all my prayers in the morning, sending out light to people before I even get out of bed, and then I'm out of bed and into my day. And then before I go to sleep at night, I do kind of the same thing in reverse. So, I'm a busy person. I love being busy.
Yes, I know that about you because I get tired just watching everything that you've been doing. So always on the go. But I love that attitude of gratitude first thing in the morning and then again the last thing at night and we will talk about that more later because it's about this pre-paving, setting up the vibration for your day to unfold in a way that is just wonderful for you. And then at night, you sort of bask yourself to sleep in that vibration, and that's when life really begins to shift, and when we can hang on to that attitude of gratitude no matter what is going on. So that's awesome. So
I don't want to. I don't want to say that negative thoughts don't pass my mind or that I'm not challenged in my life, because the challenge is that when I start my day like that, what happens is that I can remember it. I can remember during the course of my day to change my negative mindset into a positive mindset because I've already begun the energy flowing from that direction.
Right. It's not that no negativity can cross your mind. It's just that you know how to get out of it.
That's
More
right.
easily and perhaps a little more quickly than someone else might. So today, hopefully, we're going to give people a new, fresh outlook on their lives, starting from the here and now, and give them the tools that will help them live the best life they can possibly live. And I just love that about your energy, Nina. I think it's a powerful, powerful ability you have to touch someone's life so profoundly as to empower them to be the person that they actually came here to be. That is
Well,
amazing.
it is a blessing, and it's a responsibility,
It
and
is.
it's a joy.
It is. It is. We have so many guests in the chat room on Blog Talk who are listening to the show. The phone line is still full, but you can still get your call in, get in the queue, because we're going to try and get through these readings as quickly as possible, but ensuring that you are served to the best of Nina's ability at the same time. Just want to give a shout out to Miss Pretty, who has joined in the Blog Talk chat room. Hi there. Thanks for being with us. We still have watchers, viewers in the webinar. So this is really kind of cool. But it must feel like you're at home, Nina, because you've been on television so many times before.
I have.
You're a natural at this, aren't you?
Well, practice. I'm always happy to practice more and more. I love it. I love communicating. That's really very much a part of one of my life mission. You know, my major life mission is about communication, and it's so interesting because I was able to see auras since I was a very little child, and I see people's dominant energy color, and then I see the colors in their chakras, and then the colors as they filter out into the actual energy field, or the from the chakras into the dominant energy color that holds it like a cloud-like matrix of light that everybody emanates. And everybody's dominant energy color describes their personality, their life mission, their assets and abilities, and the challenges that they come through in their life. And it's such an important part of the readings that I give to people, because very often people think, oh, why is this happening to me again? Why is this repeating? And it's because, well, I always say, well, we're a bit thick. It takes us a really long time to kind of get the message and to really understand and learn very deeply how to handle the repetitive problems that we have. But this is very much related to our spiritual evolution, our spiritual pathway in life. And my dominant energy color is turquoise. So turquoise type people are a bit avant-garde, they're a bit fringe, they don't like sort of too much, a lot of they don't like to go in like one thing in depth. They like to know lots and lots of things. A kind of encyclopedic knowledge of things, which is very, very me. I'm very curious. I'm always learning. I'm always studying. I'm always observing. And but my mission is freedom, and it's also to be a catalyst for change in the world. So I come into a situation, I set the spark, I bring people together, I bring ideas together, and then I kind of leave that situation. And as a reader, that's what I do through the word. As a healer, that's what I do through my energy. And through the energy that I channel through me. And I've always been doing that through the books that I write, through the classes that I teach, through the friends that I have, and as I said, as I move through the world, seamlessly integrating all of those, I'm living my pathway. But it took me a very long time to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's always so interesting when I speak with other psychics and people in the spiritual world, to listen to their story, to hear how they struggled with certain things and how they were led by spirit to be where they are at this moment in time.
And it's always much easier to look at it in hindsight than it is to be aware of it in the moment. And yet I think with anyone who is in this work has learned how to be aware in the moment. And so they do kind of have a different way of viewing life and living life. And I think that's really important, because if we're not doing it, how are we supposed to help others do it, right? So you used a very good word there as you were speaking, and that word is change. And that seems to be such a fretful word to some people, and in some people it can strike fear right into their heart. And to me, change is opportunity, and change is the only constant we have that is at our disposal, that we can always count on, right?
Yes.
So what is some of the things that you might tell someone about facing change in their life? Some of those changes can be very daunting.
I think the first thing is to understand that change is a passageway. It's not something that's permanent. Well, it's permanent. Everything's always changing, and our illusion is that it should remain set in stone or the same. But that change isn't dangerous. Change is positive. Change is growth producing, and a changing situation can bring you more than you can expect in a positive way. So to be positive about your expectation changes your experience of change. Sorry, it's a lot of the use of change and change, but to have joyful anticipation rather than fear and negativity. I feel that that's very key to it. That change is not dangerous, and it's something to be embraced. And if you embrace it and lose the panic, lose the fear, and get an overview of the situation, either by stepping back yourself or coming to somebody who can provide an overview and act as a mirror, such as what happens in a psychic reading, or counseling or some such, then you can negotiate that change with greater ease. You can go downstream instead of upstream.
That's right. And it's always much more comfortable and effortless going downstream. And it is. To me, it's all about embracing the opportunity of change instead of going, oh my God, no, why me? You're setting a tone for it to unfold the least preferable way. So it's something actually to get excited about and know that everything happens in divine perfection. It really and truly does. And once I got my head around the fact that nothing happens to me, everything happens for me, life shifted.
That's really good. That's really true.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like a victim anymore. And it's really weird. When we talk about letting spirit lead us day to day, I'm even thinking today we have so many callers, and I think we should go to the phone lines here, Nina.
Okay, I do too.
But I bet you anything that the calls we get today are all about change that is coming. I just have that feeling.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Let's go to the first caller. Area code 256. Who am I speaking with, please? Hello? Okay, I can't hear you. I'm not quite sure. Area code 256, are you there? Okay, I'm just going to mute that one and go to the next one and see who we have here. Area code 217, hi, who am I speaking with, please?
Hello.
Hello. Who am I speaking with, please? Pardon?
My name is Zia.
Zia?
Yes,
Welcome to the show. Do you have a question for Nina?
Yes, actually I am. I finished up a pretty large project recently. It's been more than probably 10 years in the making. So I do feel that there is change ahead for me, and I was kind of curious, what that entails, mainly about relationships. I've been single for a long time, and I just kind of wondered if there was anything there.
Okay, hi Via. Lovely to hear your voice vibration. This is Nina, and I'm going to just take a moment to tune in to your the relationship potential around you. Okay, so just bear with me a moment. Okay, all right. When I look at your energy and when I feel your feelings, I feel that first of all, your dominant energy color is a pale blue, and this makes you a very sensitive person, very hypersensitive, but you're very controlled on the outside and very sensitive on the inside. I feel that you take things very deeply, and sometimes it's very hard for you in relationships to really open up emotionally and also to communicate what it is that you really feel. I feel that your choices of partners in the past, they've not been maybe very considerate of you. I feel that also the pattern here is that you do a lot of work in the relationship, but you maybe don't allow or you don't expect, well, you have an expectation of the partner to do it for you, but you pre-anticipate it and you step in and you do a lot of work. So the problem that you've had is that you end up in a relationship where you're doing the lion's share of everything and that you're not receiving enough. You're not receiving enough in terms of substantial action on their part or communication, and then that's when things break down. Does that make sense to you?
Very much so.
Okay, so you've had a long period now where there hasn't really been anybody around you, and you're very used to being in control of your life. And I feel that you're feeling lonely, you're feeling in a place where you would like to have a relationship now. But I'm not so sure that you've really made it possible for yourself in terms of really getting out and kind of developing your self-confidence in the dating situation or the dating scene. Is that true?
Yes, I work 2 jobs, so I haven't been out much.
Yeah. So I feel that number one, if you want to get wet, you got to get near the water. Okay. So, so one thing is, I would say for you, if you want to attract somebody, you're going to have to prioritize your social life a little bit more. And I know that, when you work 2 jobs, it's tough, but look at your diary, and whether it's once a week or once a fortnight or once a month, you've got to have some kind of social evening where it's not just about finding men, it's about developing new friendship relationships, doing something that's nurturing and nourishing to you that will be able to draw that kind of excitement and fun back into your life again, because I feel that you've got very serious and you don't even know where to begin,
Yeah.
But I would say it doesn't matter where you begin, honey. What really matters for you is that you, in not 2015, you begin to prioritize social time for yourself. And if you do so, I feel that you will start to attract new people into your life. The other thing that then has to happen for you is that you need to sit back and allow people to talk to you, allow people to come forward to you, to not do all the work, okay? And really feel as if you deserve to have somebody do something for you. Again, you're very independent. You don't like people to do things for you, even though it's what you want, because then you might owe them something. So there's something in your deeper sense of who you are that has to shift. And in this process of being more social, developing more social confidence, being more comfortable in looking for connection between yourself and other people, never mind a man, I feel that by the end of this year, there will be a new man on the scene for you. But it's going to be slow, and it's going to develop through friendship rather than just chemistry, shall we say. Okay? Between now and the end of October, the beginning of November, your kind of homework, your task, in order to attract what you want, is very much about going out, having fun, relaxing, and also learning to look at, is this the kind of person that I can be comfortable with? Is this the kind of person? So I see a man, I see at end of October, beginning of November, I see friendship, and I feel a real beginning of the opening of the heart. So thank you very much. I hope that's been useful for you, and I wish you all the luck in the world to have a very successful relationship.
Well, thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, you too, Via. Lovely to speak with you tonight.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. Well, that's the other thing that I've noticed a trend in, Nina, is that people are, it just seems to be the start of a new year. Everyone is looking for that relationship.
Well, they're looking for the new job, the new relationship, the new house, the new. So that's all about change. But change doesn't happen change sort of happens in the flow of life. But in order to attract what is required to us, it takes a certain kind of effort. But that effort has to be much more from the mental and emotional alignment. A change in your mental emotional alignment causes huge changes in the reactivity of the physical plane to our world.
Right. No, I totally agree. Totally get it. Should we go to the next caller?
Good idea.
All right, here we go. Area code 310. Who am I speaking with, please?
Yes, hi. My name is Susan.
I'm sorry?
My name is Susan.
Susan, hi. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Long Beach, California.
Wow. Do you have a question for Nina?
Hi, Susan.
Yes. And I'm sorry to throw it on you.
Oh, well, I'll do my best. That's all I can do.
I just wanted to see if you had any insight regarding relationships.
Okay. Right. So give me a moment to tune into you, Susan, and then I will get started.
Okay.
Well, the first thing that I sense energetically, Susan, is that you're a bit all over the place with relationships. And I feel that there is activity around you, but not very satisfying activity. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. And is it true also that because I'm seeing several guys around you, and maybe you're questioning who's the right person to be with, but I've got to say that maybe there are 2 or 3. Is that true?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I don't think you're having deep relationship with them, but they seem to be like circling around you, and maybe there's this sense that I'm having of, oh, is this the right person? Is this a person that I should be involved with or not? So I feel that whoever is around you at the moment, I'm not feeling that they're keepers, okay? I feel that they're lessons. I would say more than keepers.
Okay.
And I feel that you are very much in a transitional phase where at least there's activity around you. I want to say that the month of April is going to be significant for you, and I see a man coming forward with whom you have a much stronger connection. And not only do you have a stronger connection to him, he actually is going to step forward and have a stronger connection with you. And really be keen. And I feel that your tendency will be to kind of rush off, get deeply involved straight away, like go diving into the plunge pool. And I want to say you need to negotiate your way through this a bit more slowly. I won't say cautiously, in the sense, yeah, I'll say cautiously in the sense that not about being defensive, but just keeping your feet on the ground, and taking things one step at a time, and not want to go off into, the depths of things immediately, because that's where you kind of trip up. It's all fabulous and intense, and then all of a sudden you start asking questions, and that you're not getting answers. So you have to see if this guy is leading things in the relationship, and you've got to see how he deals with problem solving with you. How does he want to communicate with you when things go a little, there's a blip in the road. So I want to say that March, April, May are going to be very interesting times with you with respect to relationship, but I feel May you will be involved. I'm picking up the letter P here. On Peter, it comes to mind, but names are not my forte, but it's P as in Peter. I feel that he's quite tall. I feel an athletic build. I see an athletic build. I can't tell you what he does for a living because I'm not being shown that. But how will you meet? Hold on. You will meet through an acquaintance. That's what I'm being told. You will meet through an acquaintance. Now, acquaintance is not somebody who's part of your deep friendship circle. So just keep that in mind. You will know this person, but not terribly well. And you will meet them in a leisure situation, because I'm seeing everybody dressed in casual clothes. So that's what I'm going to give you, because that's what I'm getting, and I hope that that's inspiring and useful to you. And thank you very much for asking, Susan.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Okay, have a lovely, lovely rest of your day today out in sunny California.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling in, Susan. Wow. Relationships, they're the ultimate questions, are they?
They are.
Really?
Absolutely. That's what, but relationships, and relationships make the life go round, because that's where we learn about ourselves the most deeply. And when we have really deep relationships with people in deep commitment or deep friendship, what happens is not only do we get to know about somebody else and another soul, but we are forced to look into ourselves deeply and dig out all kinds of interesting things, good and difficult, from a soul perspective and an emotional perspective.
And all those things actually are orchestrated by divine design, I like to say. We have the opportunity to learn, and the soul sets everything up for it to do so. But we still have free will while here, correct?
That's correct. I mean, in my view, there are people we need to see. There are people we need to speak with.
Yeah.
And people we need to connect with. Not only positive, not only fabulous relationships or love or soulmate, but people we've had difficulty with in our past lives, that our soul needs to find some kind of new balance, a new kind of understanding. And so life doesn't always bring us pleasant circumstances, but it challenges us to learn And there is no good or bad. It's all about learning and experience. And if you have the experience and you don't learn from it, well, you're going to have to go through it again and
Yeah.
again and again.
No, I think, matters of the heart are probably the most challenging and the ones we feel the most. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I'm a quick study. It would just take one to get me to realize that I don't ever want to do that again. So here's a question for you, Nina. What is your take on soulmates?
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know. This isn't I feel, this is I know, because
Yes.
I've seen it for myself and other people, that every individual can have many soulmates within the course of their life. And what a soulmate is there's a connection from soul to soul at such a deep level that, and a connection from soul to soul at a very high level, a high vibrational frequency, that those souls are absolutely connected. Some people may say it's a split off from your soul, but I'm not so sure about that. I mean, maybe, maybe not, because this whole thing about at what level things are manifesting on gets very complicated in a kind of way. Because as we go vibrationally up through the planes, it's been my experience that individuality and ego identification disappear. And so we have our soul, then we have oversouls, then we have over souls, and so we all become one. So at some level, we are all one anyway. And it's just a kind of label that we have to differentiate. But if you have a soul connection with somebody, you will know it by this sense of familiarity, deep connection, deep attraction to them, as if they are fulfilling something in you,
Right.
reconnecting a piece of you back to you again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why in soulmate relationships that don't work out, where the potential is there, but one person is not actually participating properly within it, or chooses not to reconnect fully or work through whatever the challenge was from that soul connection. That's why it's so difficult for people to let go, or they become obsessed by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a friend who's deceased now, but she was a woman, she had 4 husbands, okay, through many, many years, because she lived for a very long time. And her husbands all died, okay, which is quite peculiar in the course of the lifetime through various natural causes. And she, after each husband died, she said, "Oh, I'm never going to meet anybody, I'll never find anybody." And sure enough, she found it. But each of these partnerships was a soul connection, and she would describe them to me as if, wow, I never thought I would be with somebody that I could connect with on that level. But each one had such a different type of connection. Mm-hmm. So all you listeners out there, don't despair. Soul mate relationships are difficult. They're not always fabulous. They take work. There's something to be learned and something to be worked through, and they always bring great blessings. And there's enough of them out there for several out there for you for partnerships.
Yeah, and I so agree with what you just said, because soulmates to me they tend to be our biggest and most powerful teachers, and those lessons that they bring with them are very profound and very deep and very life-shattering to a degree. And so, if you're wishing for a soulmate, man, I wish you would wish for something else.
Well, I don't think that that's always, that may be your experience. The thing is that soulmate relationships are fantastic, and they can bring you great joy. They can bring you great sorrow or great pain. But hopefully you and the soulmate you know, if you find somebody who wants to work at it as much as you, then it can work out. Yeah. So it's not always disaster. That's what I would say. Yeah, but it is true.
But they do offer you that learning ground, right? That's here with everything and everyone else. Yeah, you're right. My experience, I've had enough of soulmates in my lifetime. I really have. And having said that, I'm probably attracting in 10 more. But, that's okay. Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And
that's right.
Just by what my frequency dictates, right? And I want to get into that a little bit more, too.
Okay.
What is your take on soulmates? I just want to bring you in on this because you're just looking way too comfortable over there. I don't want you falling asleep during the show.
Was that me? Sorry, I missed the TED part probably. Yeah, no, a classic question. My question for Nina, actually, because Aaron knows about the soulmates aspect. We've had conversations at great length last year about it. What's the difference between soulmates and twin flames?
Yes, I see somebody put a note in the chat box. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was
you must be psychic.
No.
Sorry, it's our joke. Right. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. I think all these categories are just, they just confound me sometimes. I'm not an expert on twin flames or anything. I feel actually all relationships have a soul-to-soul context, and that some just have a deeper ones than others. So, for example, the minute I met Era, I felt there was a soul connection. Now, she's not my lover's soulmate, but we have such a lovely and loving soul connection and a sense of familiarity and connection. And we haven't hit the bumpers yet in our relationship, but we probably will one day because that friction is creative and it's our job to work through it and as well as celebrate our soul connection. Okay, so I'm very blessed to have loads of friends with whom I have deep soul connections in this lifetime. And I hope that everybody has.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we all seem to have a turn in that regard. Each and every one of us, because something can feel so profound and so right and offer you the biggest learning curve of your life at the same time. So it is a matter of what you do with it that dictates your growth and ultimately your happiness too, right?
I agree. I mean, this twin flame thing is interesting because what I feel it is that people are looking to find somebody who's vibrating at the same resonance as they are. That's this kind of the image of the flames going like this, and so you can call that a connection. And that's fine, but maybe sometimes if you vibrate too much like the other person, then it's just
redundant.
It's just, yeah. I mean, everybody's unique, and sometimes in relationships we need a bit of contrast, as well as connection.
That's what I was going to add to that. Is that if there's a twin flame, then what is being mirrored back to the other is exactly the same, and so there's no opportunity to really learn and grow. I'm like you. I don't really buy into all the labels because sometimes I think the labels are there just to make ourselves feel better and special and all that kind of stuff, when actually we're all pretty darn special and magnificent when it comes right down to it. And because we're all one at a baser level, then that makes a twin flame like ridiculous, because we all have that within us, and our task here as in the illusion as individuals, I think, is to reflect like a prism. There's so many different facets to who we can be. It offers more growth that way. If we came back and just flat, oh hi, how are you doing, move through life, there wouldn't be any room to grow. And a lot of people might say, well, I think I've been through enough that I just need a rest and I just want someone that's just the same as me. Well, that might be good for 5 minutes, and then you get so bored because there'd be nothing unique. If you can't spend time alone, how can you spend time with someone who's just like you, right?
I utterly agree with you.
Yeah.
That's true. So, Dave, I hope we've answered your question, because that's, you know, and reflected on this twin soul thing. Are we ready for another question from the callers? Hello.
I'm just going down the list here. 256 we didn't hear from. 216 is the next caller. Hi, area code 216. Who am I speaking with, please?
Hi, my name is Sharon. Hi, Nina.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Do you have a question for Nina?
I do, of course. The theme is change.
Yay.
Okay.
It's so cute. I know. It's the truth, though. I have been working on trying to manifest something, and I was wondering if I'm going to be getting some good news the next couple weeks. That's my question.
Okay. Just bear with me a moment.
Okay.
Does this have to do with a property?
No.
Okay.
I hope not. I own my home. Oh, my goodness.
Right. Okay. Well, it seems that you've been going round and round in circles with this for a while. And the only thing you can do is wait. But I do feel that the inner work has been you have been doing the inner work, and I want to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to give you the month of May. I can't tell you that it's going to be weeks until you get it, but it will be months still. But when it happens, it's going to be perfect. There will be money involved, which will bring some kind of opportunity for you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Perfect, yes.
Okay. And that money will be used to maybe fund a new business or do something to that effect. But make it possible to do something new for you. So, yeah, just continue to be patient and continue to do what you've been doing, because it's working, but it has to work its way through to the perfect conditions in order to manifest, okay?
That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Sharon, and lots of love to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Sharon. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so, here we go, change. Change in relationships. Now, I hope she stays listening, Sharon, if you can still hear me. Because if you are really trying to manifest something, you actually have called into the right show.
That's right.
Because Nina and I'm sure Ted, we haven't really talked about this too much with each other, so this is going to be really interesting. I think Nina and I are like little manifestors running around the planet sometimes. And it's so funny, if you could be a fly on the wall during one of our conversations, I'll say something, she'll correct me. Right? And it's just that NLP training that she has.
Yes.
And it just catches me all the time, because it's so true. We have this power within us, and we're just not utilizing it perhaps the most beneficial way. And Nina is just one of those energies that can really tap into someone's energy and really help them unblock where they're stuck. And so manifestations are more apt to manifest. So I think that's really cool. So Sharon, if you're still listening, we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah, one of the things that I think when Ara was talking, she said that I'm correct her. What I'm correcting is her language.
Yes.
And in that respect, for example, during the course of this show, you may have heard me begin to say but, and then stop myself and say and. And that's because when you say but, you completely negate the first part of the clause or the first sentence part of the sentence that you used. I really like this, but blah 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 blah. So then you create a negative vibration that deletes it. So we want to delete those things from our language. So in just replacing a but with an and, what happens is that you open things out, you become inclusive, and you become positive in how one expresses oneself. And language is an inner response to an energy inside of you. Remember, thought, word, deed. That's how creation takes place. Everything, this webinar, the telephone, the clothes you wear, the where you're inhabiting, all began as an idea. Everything begins as an idea. So what you speak is the result of an idea that you had in your head. We want to hear positive things. We want to hear everything, the negative, change into a positive. And when that happens, the energy flows, the vibration is amplified, and you can amplify it even further by connecting it to a joyful feeling.
Yes. Yes, that feeling, the emotions are a vibrational quality, and that is what the universe is actually checking in and responding to in every moment. And I love it when you try not to use the word but, because in my little mind, just as what you said, the minute you say da 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 but, what you're really saying is, never mind what I've just said, because I don't mean a word of it. This is what I really mean. So just, bypass that middle word, but, and make the shift. The other thing I like to do is try not to use the word, I just used it. Little words. Eliminate 3 little words from your vocabulary, and those words are don't, not, and no, N-O. So if you were using a pen and you were writing with it, and all of a sudden it was like, well, I don't like this pen. That has a very low feeling to it. I don't like this, right? It's lower vibrational. So you have to catch yourself in that moment and turn it around and make it something, restate it, rephrase it in a different way. So instead of using the word don't, you have to say the same thing without using those words. So, try that out. I don't like this pen. How can you restate that? You can say, I prefer a different pen. And that is a higher vibration. And so restating things as you catch yourself also works. And trying to eliminate 3 little words out of your vocabulary. Actually, 4 words, because Nina just gave me the 4th, and that was but. So this is fun. I love this kind of conversation. So the next caller.
Yeah, ready? Let's go for it. I'm ready.
All right. Area code 561. Who am I speaking with, please?
Hi, this is Lena from Florida. How are you?
I am fine. Nina from Florida.
Lena, I think she said.
Lena. Okay. Lena. Do you have a question, please?
Yes, I'm going to a temporary agency tomorrow, and they said they might have a position for me, and so I want to see if you think the agency might be able to give me some work.
Okie dokie. Just bear with me a moment, Lena, while I look into it for you. Yes. Yes, they do. They haven't wasted their time in calling you to them. I feel that they have an honest offer. I feel that what you need to do is calm down. I feel your anxiety, and I feel the anxiety of not only, oh, do they have a job, but will I be okay, and is it going to be, I feel all these ideas flooding your mind. Is that true, Lena?
Yeah, I've been living out of the car since May.
Yeah, yeah. So my feeling here is, you're going to be fine. You will get this job. It's not going to be the most exciting job in the world, but it's going to bring you the bread and butter that you seek, and it's a new beginning to boost your confidence in yourself again, because I feel that you've gotten very low in your confidence because, you haven't been able to find employment. And I want you to focus on your worth, on your self-worth. Because it's time now, and this period of need is coming to an end. So it will be a temporary job, but I feel it won't be like a couple of days. I feel it may be for a few months, and that's going to be enough to...
They told me July, but I thought that was kind of long for a temporary job.
Yeah. But the thing is that, I feel it's you're replacing somebody who's on leave. So that's going to be enough time for you to develop yourself, and also and your confidence, and the agency will see that you're reliable. I feel it has a lot of spin-offs in a positive way. So just go for it, girl. Go, be happy, be positive, smile. You're going to do great. And when you get the job, then it's the time for you to manage your expectations about yourself, okay? Because you can make yourself nervous by worrying too much, okay? What I feel for you is just take it a step at a time, ask the questions you need to ask, feel good about you. They expect maybe less of you than you expect of yourself. Always remember that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay,
So good luck tomorrow, and enjoy.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lena.
Thanks for calling in. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lena is a great example of how we all, me included, are our own worst enemies in our heads.
Me.
Right? And how much we all have to struggle with our, oh, I'm not going to be good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. We're always enough.
We make the most ridiculous things important, right? When really, yeah, we do get in our own way. And I posted that on Facebook just the other day. I was really struggling, really struggling. And I just, shaking my fist at the universe and all that kind of stuff. And I went for a walk, and the Council of 12 said to me, vibration. I stopped and went, so what? I don't care, right? And I had my little temper tantrum, and I came home and I went, yeah, I mean, I know this, but sometimes I just don't want to know it. Sometimes it just feels so good to throw myself on the floor and kick and scream and say, why me?
Exactly.
But I know that doesn't solve anything, and it doesn't put my vibration in the right area. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm going to think about something else, right? And I did. I got on with something else, and I was feeling very joyful, and then everything started to pop over here where I had been struggling. So
yeah.
It's amazing how quickly that things can turn on a dime. They really can, as soon as you get out of your own way and stop focusing on the problem.
Yes, yes. And I feel that a lot of people are in a fear state of, or when I get into that place, it's about fear.
Yeah.
And I can see it reflected in others, that they might get it wrong, or they might not this, that, or the other, fill in the blanks,
Yeah.
But we all have to drop it and think, okay, well, what can I do? How can I be? And to lose our pride in asking for help or asking questions, and finding ways to do it where we actually celebrate somebody else's knowledge rather than feeling just stupid inside of ourselves,
Not a
because
good-
then we get back judgment towards us.
Right. So was Lena our last caller?
Lena was our last caller. So that was, oh, I should be taking down that. I think she was 216.
Okay.
I think we want to go to the next one.
Karen was 216. I thought Lena was
Oh?
561. She's disappeared.
Okay.
504 was the one I was. Oh, there she is down there. Okay, well, she just flipped around. Let me just let me go to area code 504. Hi, area code 505. Have we talked yet?
No, but I thought it said the last caller, so I went out and went back in case I got like flushed.
Ah. And who am I speaking with, please?
My name is Debbie.
Debbie, welcome. Do you have a question for Nina?
Hi. Yeah, she was talking to a lady earlier that said, you know, she did all the work in the relationship, and it sounded a little bit like me, except I'm still in the relationship.
Right. Okay.
And, you know, people are like, oh, he's a good guy, but and he is. I'm just wondering how I can maybe turn this around, or if it's possible to turn it around.
Well, that's a great question, Debbie. Hello, this is Nina, and I love that. Now, can you give me your partner's first name or first initial, please? Would you mind?
B. Barry.
B. B. Okay, thank you. Just a moment while I contemplate this from a higher place, and I will. Okay. Well, I feel that your partner has become a little bit lazy and complacent because you do everything. And I feel that you really are the one who kind of steps in and solves the problem before it becomes a problem, because you want to avoid having a problem, but you can never avoid the problem because it's still underneath. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I'm intuitive, so I do jump in and, like, you see something getting ready, you just, yeah, and I'm empathic, so I hate the, I shouldn't use that word, the toll.
You find it uncomfortable.
Like,
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
yeah, like if somebody's going to get angry, I'll try to fix it because their anger will bother me. Does that make sense?
Yes, well, that's what I was trying, that was what I perfectly expressed, okay? So, I feel that what happens is then you end up kind of controlling this situation, so much so that it doesn't leave space for anybody else to breathe or to input. If you want him to be more forthcoming, then there's something about how you communicate with him and ask for what you want that is suggestive, fun. So, for example, you know him well enough about what he likes and what he doesn't like, and what you used to like doing together. Start with what you know can actually begin to stimulate the positive side of the connection that you have with each other. And then what happens is there's more sharing, there's more fun, there's more warmth and energy in that relationship. And then you also have to step back and find a way to, even though you could see what could be happening, you have to step back and allow that to happen rather than just trying to control it. Because, for example, it doesn't have to become anger. It could be frustration that you interpret as anger, and then you could find a way to use that as a discussion point rather than to just sweep it under the carpet. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So these things, there's no real plug-in formula. There's just different approaches to problem solving, but part of it is you being willing to still feel, to be empathic, to be psychic, to be intuitive about what people are, your partner is thinking, but try and have a discussion about it rather than in a positive way, rather than just create a wall or step in and do it for him.
Yeah.
Praise, appreciation, gratitude, focusing on connection rather than disconnection. These are the baseline groundwork of what creates a better connection within your relationship. Celebrate that rather than focusing on what's not working. Of course, you need to know what's not working so that you can then address it, but don't keep on focusing on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of exactly what I was thinking. I just wondered, like, if it was too late or.
It's never too late. It's never.
I'll get into this position again.
Well, Debbie, it's never too late. You're still in the relationship with him. You've been in this relationship for a while, and if that relationship is going to continue and grow, what you're going to have to do is change it up. He may feel uncomfortable. Don't try to do it all at one fell swoop, but gradually change your attitude, introduce new ways of doing things. If he says, "Ooh, you've changed," you can say, "Yeah, I think I wanted to do that because I miss the you. I miss the fun you. I miss the part of our relationship where we were laughing more and hanging out or whatever, So you can find a way to not make it so serious, and then then what will happen is he will be open with you rather than defensive.
Okay.
It's never too late. And if he doesn't want to do it, well, then maybe the relationship is over. But this is what you have to try by starting within yourself to reach for what you want, and what you want is connection. So that's what you reach for. Okay?
Okay, that's exactly right. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, and it's been a real pleasure discussing this with you because maybe it's not considered psychic in that sense, but I do feel, your genuine concern and desire to work on your relationship and to grow it in such a way that, you can have the happiness that you used to have more with him. And it means growing your relationship with yourself in a new way. And then that changes how you relate within your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. That's why I related to the caller earlier. I was like, oh, I have used to be that girl that get there and it just, you can, but while you're there, what could you do? Because, you see it going that road.
That's great. So have hope, have a lot of hope, and I trust that the connection that we had this evening, has lit the spark for you to go in there and, enjoy your partner more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in, Debbie.
Thank you.
I love it. There's just such what I love is that you're delivering these messages and you're offering the opportunity to heal and grow and know and all that good stuff, and it's really well received. People are actually eager to figure out what the tools are, how to make the changes. That's what people probably fear the most, is not knowing how to make the change. And so that is really vital in what you just gave her. And when they say, well, when you said it's not quite psychic, Actually, it is, because it's all energy anyway, right? You just sort of matched that vibration and explained it to her. How are you doing, Ted?
I'm unmuting. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm listening very carefully. I think this camera makes me look as though I've got my eyes closed when I'm actually fully listening in on all of this. Yeah, I, of course, am the hands-on healer, aren't I? And I know I often say, but I'm not psychic and I'm not a medium, and everybody dives in and said, oh, but you are. It's not essentially my forte. So, listen, but listening to what Nina does and how she approaches it, who knows? The day may come when I do step that connective way. Obviously, I channel energy very. I'm blessed, very powerfully channel energy, and it's quite conceivable that Nina is channeling energy and in another quantum way, So we all do things in our different ways. And I'm learning very much by listening to how she channels the messages and all of that. So yeah, I'm very much concentrating. Even if my eyes make me look, because I'm looking at the camera now, and I look as though I've got my eyes shut, and but I am. No, I'm fully with you, girls.
I didn't think
Ladies.
you were really falling asleep, Ted.
Actually, while I'm on here, while I've got the opportunity, coming back quite a few minutes ago now, Nina was saying about her connection with you, Era, and I mean, we've been sort of knocking around at a distance for over a year now, and I remember back in the day, we sort of saying, what is it, how is it that we sort of connect so well and have that extraordinary empathy and connection and trust without ever having met in person as such. Hey, in one sense, who cares? On another, it's glorious and it's awesome. And it does go to show that across many thousands of miles, you can actually make a connection with someone and just be, we didn't see each other on camera for a very sort of long time, but we have an amazing friendship and trust level, and we kind of get each other, and how is that? The universe is extraordinary and wonderful, and the synchronicities of, I've so often said, Era's words are my words. There will be things on social media that she'll put up, and I'll think, if she hadn't written that, I would have written that. If she hadn't thought it, I would have thought it. The whole of this connectivity and synchronicity and energy is so fascinating, so usable, so channelable, if that's the right word, and a great, and a great gift and a great blessing, and so damned exciting.
It is very.
And I don't see how it could be any other way when we're all energy to begin with anyway. And it's just a matter of learning to, well, the energy either attracts or it repels. And so we're very fortunate. We might have our times a little rough, but, energy is energy. And we all know how to. I think it's because it's that soul agreement thing coming on. We're all supposed to be working together, right? Yeah. So, everything sort of comes along by divine design. There I go saying that again. It just seems to be the two words of the day. But it's very true. That's how it works. That's what happens. It boggles my mind, because as a human being, not you, not Nina, not I, not Nick, we could not have made this happen.
No. Exactly.
But we were drawn.
Exactly. So that's
we were drawn together, absolutely drawn together. And that's what's so exciting when you live a life of, when you start to get onto the spiritual pathway. If you've read The Secret and the other books, it's like this whole thing about synchronicity. All of a sudden, things start to align, and you meet the people you need to meet, or the situations you need to go through, even in the simplest, weirdest ways. For example, I was going to work this morning, and I took a different route than I usually do because the underground didn't work. So I had to transfer trains, and then I said, oh, I've got to walk from Oxford Circus because Bond Street couldn't get to Bond Street. But then I passed this shop, and I thought, oh, I've got to get my watch fixed. I got to get my thingy of my battery changed on my watch, and oh, I can pick this up. So, you know, I wouldn't have been able to get my watch repaired for another week if I hadn't passed there. So the universe is weird that way.
Yeah.
Things that need to get done in their own divine time. And that could be as simple as getting a new battery for your watch, or as amazing as meeting your life partner, or people who you are going to work with, or the new job interview, or whatever it is. It is about alignment within yourself and allowing things to happen.
Because the universe thrives on speed, and the fastest way it knows how to function is through the path of least resistance. So, you know, as long as we're not resisting, then things do happen to go through very, very smoothly and effortlessly. Even being inconvenienced this morning, Nina, you know, the universe was going, well, this is what you wanted, this is what you needed, and here you are. It's the path of least resistance, right?
That's right.
That's my rule of thumb. As soon as something goes sideways, I am, once I get over being so indignant about it, I typically say to myself, oh, I wonder what this means, that something is coming my way, so I better keep my eyes open. So it kind of distracts me from being indignant, right? So
that's right.
That's the way that goes. So just before we go to the next caller, I just want to announce for those that will be listening to the archive of the show later that Nina's website is www.ninaashby.com. And I think people in the chat room here on the webinar have been seeing the advert go through the chat room, and they can click on your link there and have a good look around. So I just wanted to get that out. We still have some time left on the show. We're going to go to another caller. If you'd like to call in and try your luck, the phone number is 646-716-9336. Here we go. Area code 480. Who am I speaking with, please?
Hello, this is Shruti. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Do you have a question for Nina?
Yes, Happy New Year, Nina.
Thank you very much, Trudy.
Get tuned into my energy and see what's coming up for this new year.
Okay, just bear with me a sec, and I'm tuning in.
Thank you.
Because the first thing that I see is that where you are now. And where you are now is a place where you've come out of some kind of emotional difficulty, because I feel initially in my heart an ache. I feel this ache is subsiding, but that it is still there. And overlaying that is this very sparkling and excited energy, and it's an energy of leaf green color, which is about new anticipation of getting stuck into in a very practical ways and dynamic and proactive ways, new approaches to living your life. I feel that you want to repopulate your friendship group. I feel that you're very excited about maybe taking some classes or doing some kind of new leisure activities, something that's more creative. And I also feel that maybe that I have this sense of considering that you want to progress in your work. So I feel this newness, this desire to expand, to explore, and to progress things that have been a bit stuck for you. Can you relate to what I'm saying, Trudy?
Yes, I'm always looking to progress. That's always been my theme, is to move forward in all life.
wise.
There you are. Okay, so I feel that 2015 is a year when there's change afoot with respect to new opportunities in the work sector for you. I feel that there is, I want to say the month of June particularly stands out here for you. I feel that from now until June there is there's looking for opportunities and finishing up old business. I feel it's about looking for what you want to do, and I feel that that's going to appear for you in the month of June. I feel it may even be from what you're doing now, leading on from that, and that somebody's going to offer you something rather than you having to actually go out and get it so much. So, and it's by also the energy that you put into, how you put the energy into what you're doing. There is definite change here. And I do feel not only is it progression, but I feel promotion. But it very much has to do with how you do what you do. So stepping out of the box, stepping out of the frame, thinking, also in a sense drawing back to what your original job description was and doing what you're supposed to be doing rather than kind of doing things that other people want you to do for them all the time. So I want you to stop being so distracted by other people's demands and really get back to the work you're supposed to be doing, because sometimes you don't do that because you get distracted by other things you think are your job, but they're not really your job. So 2015 is going to be
within the company. You're not seeing me moving outside the company, but getting a promotion and the opportunity being offered within the same company.
Yes, in the same company, and that's going to, really boost your confidence, boost your energy, and boost your finances, which is good. Okay?
Yeah,
so
great.
A prosperous year for you.
Oh, sorry, something else?
Love and light.
Oh, that's always helpful, so thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Trudy. Lots of love to you. Take care. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, Trudy. There we go. Are you ready to go for another one, or do you want a bit of a break?
I'm okay. We'll do one more. Yep.
Great. Sounds good. Let's see who we got. We have area code 619. Who am I speaking with, please?
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna. Do you have a question for Nina?
Yeah, what she sees for a job and where I'll be living here in the next few weeks.
I'm sorry, a job for, you're looking for a new job now?
Yeah, do you see me moving and to work, or any job opportunities coming my way?
Okay, fine. Thank you very much for that. That clears that up. Okay. Okay. I want to say not this week, but the following week. So the last week in January, I feel that there is something coming up for you. I feel it comes through a conversation that you have with somebody. I see a group of friends around you, and I feel that the opportunity will come through that. They will direct you. They say, oh, I want you to speak to this person, or I know somebody who can help you. And initially, there will be some kind of delay, but the second week in February, things are going to come through for you, and then that's when the job is going to happen. So I feel that you're going to have to wait a month that there will be some frustration connected with that, but I do see a job for you. I'm not feeling that you're going to have a move of house. I feel that it's enough to, I don't feel it's going to be far away. So I don't feel that you're going to have to move. But I do feel that it's the getting into the job that's important most of all. And I feel that when you go for this interview for your job, that you need to be really positive about yourself and really talk about, what value you bring to that work, why you would be the good person for it. And you have to talk from a place of more confidence in yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Sell yourself, because that's something that's hard for you to do. But and worthwhile, okay? So have heart, Donna. You're strong.
You know what? Do you see what kind of job it might be, or
Okay.
at all, or not really?
I really, I'm not getting what kind of job, but it will be something within your skill set, okay? And you're a very people-orientated person, aren't you?
Uh-huh, yeah.
And so it will have to do something with service or care, okay?
Yeah.
Something very much within your skill set. And you don't have to be frightened about what it is, about what you're going to have to do. It will be within your skill set, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Good cheer to you. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Donna. Wow, that's some good news.
Yeah, really good news.
Yeah.
But, I feel that what Donna's going to have to do, of course, is get out and talk to people, because if she's going to meet it by talking, this opportunity through discussing it with people, then she has to get out and do it. So that's the other thing, Donna.
Yeah, for sure. So did you want to take a bit of a break, Nina?
Yeah, I need, a song, and I'll be back, okay?
That sounds great. So once again, our call-in number is 646-716-9336, and we're just going to take a bit of a break here. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 46 seconds, and 703 and 727 area codes, you're up next. We'll be right back.
Driving into town with the dark cloud above you, dialing the number who's bound of you. Honey, you turn me on. I'm the radio. I'm a country station. I'm a little bit corny. I'm a wildflower waiting for you. Broadcasting tower waiting for you. And I'm sending you this signal here. Hope you can take it out loud and clear. I know you don't like sweet women, you get bored so quick. And you don't like strong, they're hip to your tricks. It's been dirty for dirty down the line, but you know how when you whistle and you're loving and kind. If you've got too many doubts, there's no good reception for me than tune me out. 'Cause honey, who needs the static? Hurts the head, and you wind up cracking, and the day goes dismal from rippers fighting to the side of crack. What a sorry face you put to wear. I'm gonna tell you again now if you're still listening there. If you're driving into town with the dark cloud above you, dialing the number who's bound to love you. beach with the trend seems to going. Keep off the sand, but honey, the love's still flowing. It's it, forget it, but your heart's still smoking. Call me at the station, the lights are up
And we're back. See? 2 minutes, 46 seconds. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ted timed that. So.
How well you know me. Yeah.
Yes, I do. All right, we still have a couple of callers here to get through, and we will go to the next caller. Hi, area code 703. Who am I speaking with, please?
Good evening, Eric calling. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Do you have a question for Nina?
Yes, I do. I just want to find out generally what you see for 2015 for me, whether it be career progress or romance. What do you see?
Okay, thank you. Did you say your name is Eric?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, just bear with me a moment. I'm tuning in, and then I will get started. Okay, Eric. When I tune into your energy, I'm seeing in your career pathway that you felt very frustrated because you feel that I get this sense of being in a plateau. You know, you've been in the same area for a while and you haven't been able to shift out of it. Is that true?
17 years, yes.
No, that's some plateau. Okay. I feel that actually in some ways you like what you do, but you feel that you need to find a new way to do it or the next level of doing it. Does that make sense?
Yes, in that I would probably be using some of the same tools, some of the same equipment where, in terms of what I would want to do next, but I would be more in control of where
I'm going. Control is the key word there, I think.
Creativity and to get out of the service industry and doing my own thing, tooting my own horn, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. Because I think the words that are coming up for you are transferable skills, controlling your own destiny, and I feel it's kind of a brave leap for you. But I'm seeing that 2015 is the year that you can make it happen, but not all in one fell swoop, because what I feel is that the phrase setting the stage is important here. So if you want to, there are some strategies that need to be employed, such as you really thinking closely on, okay, if I'm going to have my own business, how am I going to brand it? What's going to be my website? How am I going to do my outreach? You know, how much money do I have to have in the bank in order to be able to fund this? How long do I have to work at what I'm doing and piggyback that until I can launch myself to have enough leverage to or foundation finance in order to take the risk to go out and, you know, really begin this in earnest. But I see this year as this where you're doing two things. One is continuing to do what you're doing, and the other one is starting to build this platform for you to be able to then take that into the future and drop away what you're doing. It takes preparation, and that's the key to the success of your new venture. And 2015 is very much about planning and putting into action those plans. And that is exciting. It's challenging. It's a bit frightening, but you don't need to be frightened. You just need to be practical about doing all of these things. And I feel that there's also people there who want to help you if you ask them. It's not something you have to do all on your own, in terms of people being able to offer you the advice that you require. So this is good. This is really, really good for you, because it's a time when you're looking to establishing something that can take you into the next 10 to 15 years of your working life and really grow in a way that you've wanted to for a very long time, but haven't created the opportunity to do that. You're a stubborn person, so it takes you till you're really at the end of the line before you actually take those risks. But I feel that
I have taken steps towards that. So I'm saying I'm probably 50% to maybe 70%, 50 to like 70% there in terms of laying the
foundations.
Yeah, laying that down. Except that it's more now of getting it out there, finding the right people to get it out there, and or like people in the business who would be willing to either back me or promote me in some form, to do this creative.
Right. Well, my feeling is that it all starts from inside of you, and if you start from a place of fear, then you're going to get and doubt, then people will doubt you. If you start from a place of excitement, joy, wanting to share that, being inspirational, then what happens is people want to listen and want to support you. And if you also give them practical ways in which they can support you. So it is about taking that next step out in terms of confidence and sparkle. I want to say sparkle, and you will attract things to you rather than trying to do it. I hope that makes sense to you.
Right. Turning into something fun rather than having it as work.
Well, exactly. You have to enjoy your work so it doesn't become like work. I always say that what I do is serious fun. It's serious and it's fun. And that's how people learn. That's how people get inspired. And if you want to do something that's creative and inspirational, then you have to be creative and inspirational, even in how you put it across. And I feel that so that when you start to talk about what you do, people are turned on. They're really interested. And that's how you get support.
That makes sense.
So, yes, you have to have some groundwork and backup, like in figures, or this is what I would need, this is what I would do, so that there is a practicality connected to it. And there also has to be that sparkle and inspiration coming from you. So that's what I would say 2015 is about. It's about taking the platform that you've used and then injecting the energy that comes from the change that's inside of you. Because if you can't change what's inside of you, you're just going to continue to do what you've always been doing. Right?
True, that's true. And if I do change, how would that change if you can say quickly, when do you see a romantic?
Okay.
Or would it come out of that? Would it come out of that? Which would be a good thing, actually, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that when I look at your heart, that even though you think you want a romantic relationship, I feel that there's something in you that's not really completely open to that, because until you get yourself out, until you've made these changes and get yourself out of this dull situation, where you feel that you're not being your authentic self, you have to make that transition into the new you, and you will attract a very different kind of person towards you because your energy is different, and you will be excited and willing to be open to not be so threatened in relationships, and to find somebody who will want to match you in terms of working through things, and be willing to encourage you, but who you will be able to step forward and encourage as well. So a completely different type of person and different energy within this. And my feeling is, I'm looking towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, for that to happen. There is transition that you're going through here, but and there's another relationship for you. But I'm not so sure that it's this year. My feeling is the end of this year to the beginning of 2016 is when you're going to make that connection. So what I would say is work on yourself. Be more playful, be more sparkly, think about what you want, think about how to inspire other people, and that's when you're going to have to develop the confidence, okay? So I'll keep repeating myself, but thank you very much, Eric. Good luck. Enjoy it all.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Eric. You know what I think? I think we need to do a show on manifestation. What do you think?
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, that would be fun. And it would give everyone a set of tools to use, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a question in the chat room on Blog Talk, Nina. I don't know
Okay.
whether it's not. Dave says, I put in for a job relocation to New York and planning on moving around April. Just wondering if Nina sees this as a good move for me.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Let's take a look. Okay. Yes, in many ways, Dave, this is a good move for you. It's something that you've really wanted. I feel that it will free you up to be more independent, to do the things that you need and want to do within your working life. I wonder if there is some kind of dispute or debate within your relationship about the feasibility of this, or maybe your partner. There's somebody around you who's not so as keen as you are, but I feel that it certainly will be beneficial in terms of your job and your ability to make more money and feel more challenged within your work. And I feel that energy will, this opportunity will come to you, and what I'm getting here is new motivation and drive that comes through it. Yes, there will be lots of changes, and they will be for the best. So, well done. Thank you very much. I hope that's useful for you.
I'm sure it will be. Let us know how it all unfolds, Dave, because we'll be interested to know, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're running really short on time. We're at the 6-minute mark, so I'll go quickly to the next caller and see what I use the word we. Hi, area code 727. Who am I speaking with, please?
Rose.
Rose?
Thank you for taking my call. My question is, when do you see me buying a house this year?
Okay. Thank you, Rose. Okay.
Thank you.
June. My guide is giving me June, and I see that you will find this house in May. And it won't be on, I feel that you can look and look and look, but this house that I'm seeing won't be on the market until the very beginning of May. And I feel that when you connect with it, it's all going to go through really quickly, surprisingly quickly. And that, I don't know, I see it as, I see a white house, like wooden house, or wooden clapboard, or maybe aluminum siding, but white, horizontal strips of either wood or, and I see it's a low house. It's what can I say? Like ranch style house rather than two-story house, all on one level, spread out. It's really nice, and I do see green around it. So that's what I'm seeing for you. So look to June. Probably not exactly when you want it. I feel that you want it sooner than that, but I do see you moving in June. Thank you very much, Rose. Hope that's useful.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I would normally look for a house with siding. My biggest concern is, am I going to pay cash for this house?
Okay. I feel that you can negotiate that, yes. It's within...
I would strip off any siding. I don't like that look at all. But if it has the space that I'm looking for, I can change the outside of it. Or the kitchen. I hate the pokey kitchens. I've looked at houses and the kitchens are too small.
Yeah. I feel that what you will be able to do is get this house for a very good price within your means, and then you can fiddle around with the inside of the property. I feel that it's not going to be a new house, and it's going to be, I feel that maybe you will put on a kitchen extension, but it's it won't be difficult to do. And I feel that it certainly will have enough space. It looks like a large house. So enjoy it. That's what I see. I feel that when you see it, you're going to snap it up. Okay? That's the problem with looking for houses. You have to see you have to look at a lot of horrible houses, but when the right one comes along, boo, I want it. Yes. Okay. Okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
You take care. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. You know, I have to say I was getting June right off the bat as well. So if there's some validation there that is required, there you go.
I love it. Bit of synchronicity. Thank you, Ara.
Just the way it goes, right? So
that's right.
Unfortunately, we only have a couple more minutes, so we can't take any more callers. Thank you very much for those who did call in. Again, you can visit Nina's website at www.ninaashby.com.
90 seconds.
Yeah, 90 seconds we have left. Next week on our show, we're going to have medium Sean Margaret Cohen on the show, and this is going to be extraordinary. She is a very powerful medium, and the readings are going to be fabulous, just like they were today, Nina. Thank you so much for everything you've contributed and all the work you've done today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everybody for calling in and writing in, and everybody who participated not only from Blog Talk Radio, but on our webinar. You know, it's been wonderful to have you with us, and we hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. And Ted, thank you for your input, and Ara, of course, yours, and thanks for having me.
Hey, you know, it's going to happen a lot more. We're not going to give away any secrets, but it's going to happen a lot more.
That's
Ted,
right.
Ted?
Yeah. I always find Nina very energizing. There's never a negative going on at all, and she touched on what she actually does sort of semantically, so it's always a pleasure. She's bright, cheerful, energetic, and although I looked as I got my eyes closed, I was listening, and yes, we have a little bit of chuckle in the background as well. And we've got a few seconds, so I'll say good night and thank you from my end.
Great. Thanks, all of you, and we will see you next week.
That we will. Night.
Night.
You've been listening to Virtual Vision FM.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or contact us at our website www.virtualvisionfm.com.
We want to hear from you because you matter.
Virtual Vision FM.
Your platform to all things spiritual.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Ping pong.
Hello. Goodbye.